What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today Dragon Age Inquisition. Now I'm actually a newcomer to this series. I missed both the first and second Dragon Ages, so coming into this blind was quite the experience. This game was developed by BioWare, who are no strangers to building universes. After the epic trilogy they made with Mass Effect, I had my hopes set high, and I was not disappointed. The story opens with an earth-shattering event. Basically, there's a huge political stalemate between a bunch of factions. Mages, Templars, religious people, all come together to try and have one big peace treaty. And when this happens, there is a massive explosion that rips a hole in reality, and demons start pouring through. You are the only survivor of this event, and now you have a strange ability that no other person in the world has. You can close the rifts. You can stem the tide of demons pouring into our world. And this may sound super epic, but it goes so far beyond that, because the world is so big and so vibrant and so alive that you almost ache to close these portals. You want to save every single man, woman, child, and cute little piggy that you can in the world. The gameplay is a third-person action game where you can go around, cast spells, attack, use special abilities. But what's also interesting is you can switch between all your party members. So instead of just having one character that you're slowly leveling up and gaining new abilities, you're kind of playing 4 or 5 characters and leveling up their abilities. This makes every single battle all the more interesting. Are you dying? Switch to a secondary person who you've specifically spec'd into defensive spells. Having some trouble with a high up target? Switch to your archer and pick them off from above. There are so many small tactics, along with being able to go in and custom program each of the party members, so even if you just want them all to autopilot, which is primarily what I did, you can program them to specifically be a healer, a basher, or a tank. I had one of my female characters from the beginning go in and just thrash the hell out of everybody throughout the entire game. Watching her dive into fight after fight, healing her as she took on massive foes was so exciting. It made me care all the more for the characters, because not only do they have amazingly witty banter, do they have great lines to tell you about every single battle, along with interesting dialogue that organically happens while wandering the world, but when you can program them, you feel like you have this extra say. True, I'm just putting in a line of code about how I want them to behave in combat, but for some reason it has this extra layer to it. It feels as if I actually told the character myself, hey, next battle, try using a little bit more action rolls. See if you can't get behind them. It feels so deep and alive. The world is just amazing. The graphics in this game are mind-blowing. One thing that got me the most was the sight range. Typically in a game you have a little bit of pop-in, where as you approach our objects, they'll randomly appear. But here, everything stays full resolution even as you get farther away. Here you can see I'm standing on top of a very tall mountain overlooking this gorgeous ocean and looking at all these caves and rockwork around me. They stay full resolution as you walk away or walk closer. It's just incredible to me that this is even possible. We've never seen this type of programming before, or I've never seen this before, so I assumed it wasn't possible. The world just feels so incredible. To walk through all these vibrant cities with individual characters with goofy freaking makeup on, rips in their clothes. The graphics are just mind-blowing. The customability on my character was especially fun. Getting to change his horns, and even the armor on his horns, made me feel all the closer to him. Typically in games like this, the customer characterization doesn't matter too much to me, because most of the time I'm going to be zapping lasers out of my hands and not looking at their face. But here, I truly got to make a character that looked and sounded exactly the way I wanted. So when I went into the world, it felt like me. When my character would get struck down and I'd have to switch to another character to revive him, I would feel this extra sense of urgency, like, holy crap! My character is dead. A piece of myself is laying on the ground, and the only man who can shove these rifts shut is that man. So I have to pick him up, res him, get him to drink a potion, and get back to the action. An added bonus into this game is a new control style. At any point you can choose to stop time, control around, and manually command each person to attack. It's kind of an action RPG sort of style. It kind of makes it feel like if they're opening it up to classic Final Fantasy fans. It's really interesting, especially in a very heated battle, to be able to stop time, command your units to flank them. There have been times where I've been in a narrow hallway and I'd had people wrap around what I knew was the back stairwell and attack them from behind. This doesn't give you special bonuses or anything, but sometimes it's extremely needed. There have been times when I've been fighting enemies on the docks and just about to barely die while I was able to stop time a heal, use a potion, unfreeze time. It's a gorgeous mechanic that is very interesting. I didn't use it very often, but mostly because it kind of took me out of the action. I think one thing that really shines about Dragon Age Inquisition is that it's very fast-paced. The enemies are constantly blinking at you or teleporting around. You're trying to cast the correct spell, use the correct defense, switch to the right character for each individual situation. And when you stop time to make slower, more careful choices, it's interesting, but also retracts from the overall environment, the desperation that I think they were truly trying to encapsulate. I do greatly appreciate that they added this, and it works magnificently. I think I used it more actually just to look at the scenery than anything else. I'd start getting in a fight, and I'd pause time and just look at it like gorgeous waves or something. Just use it to kind of admire this gorgeous world. The world is amazing. To see giants fighting against dragons, to see all these wonderful customizable pieces of my castle. The whole game is upgradable in so many small ways. The crafting system is especially interesting. The world is just so vibrant and alive. Everything about this game just feels so fluid. There was a time when I'm going along next to this beach and I see this cutout in the wall and I'm like, oh, there's a cave there. So I go inside and it's full of spiders and extremely dark. I manage to light some torches and explore, and I find even a campsite inside of there completely abandoned, as if whoever did live there had to run away or was consumed, body, bones, and all, by the spiders. As I light more torches, I started to notice this place was a cathedral or something. There's glass windows. What is this place? That is the most perfect part about this. Everywhere you go in Dragon Age Inquisition, there is quests, there are things to collect, but there's just world. There's just organic, deep world. The story that you hear in the game is one thing. The story you feel in your heart is a different one. It's as if there are two rival worlds, the one within you and the one you're seeing. Dragon Age Inquisition is so incredible on so many levels. Going to my war room, taking over the map slowly, piece by piece, sending out my units to scout new areas, commanding my spies to investigate local factions. Everything about this game is solid. The one major flaw I do have to point out, though, is the face movements are just super jarringly weird. Here is a clip of somebody telling me that the world is about to end and we have to close a rift. Now here's a clip of me just moving my mouth randomly and making spasms with my face. Now here's a paper bag pretending to tell me that the world is ending. What is the difference between the three of these? Not much. This isn't that bad of a problem, except for the fact that there's so much dialogue in the game. Many of the characters actually have great facial animations, and all of them are great voices, but it's weird the characters you run into that are major characters, and you start talking to them, and all of a sudden their face just looks like it's having a spasm. Although their eyes are so deep and vibrant and full of life, it seems as if no words they say ever hit them. It's just kind of like they have paralysis from the nose up. This is a small complaint, but it does take a half point off the final score. So, the final verdict, on a scale of 1 to 10, I am giving this a 9.5 out of 10. Dragon Age Inquisition does so much right. If you can, purchase this on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, or the PC, because I think these are the most gorgeous things I've ever seen. I have personally not seen any of the last generation console footage of it, so I couldn't even tell you what that looks like or how it controls. This was very glitch-free, and I liked it a lot, but I can't attest to any other console. I tested this primarily on the PlayStation 4. Obviously, all the footage you're seeing in this is actually heavily edited for the review. If you want to see 20 minutes of unedited footage with my commentary, there's a link in the description box down below to my secondary channel, DreamcastGuy Plays. You can just see me play the game for about 20 minutes, see how it all looks and feels, and kind of get my rough first thoughts when I was playing this a couple days ago. As always though, guys, subscribe and share it somewhere. When we get to 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 to a random subscriber. So keep gaming, keep reading, and keep dreaming.